vision for what the Lord has us here on earth for, and encourage you to go for it. We have with us someone that did just that, a young man you'll meet in just a moment. You know, there's, in the good book, it talks about witty inventions. And I know my husband had a lot of inventions that he made. He said he could see them. This is one of them, a 7,000 street sweeper. When you ride on an airplane, a 747, the food cart comes down the aisle, you hit an air pocket and it drops 200 feet, the plane does. The food cart stays right there. Well, that invention was my husband's invention. He has a lot of things. Well, as most of you know that watch this all the time, he's gone on to be with the Lord, but so I always look for inventors, people who have gotten a dream in their mind and they went for it. Because when I spoke in Congress, we did a deep study about new jobs, and right now a lot of people could use a job. I know people who got laid off, and after their their unemployment ran out, they're no longer working, even looking for a job, just trying to raise a garden and just live on selling some of their stuff or whatever they have to do, because they feel like there's no jobs they can find. So how do you find a new job? Well, we studied in Congress that Harvard did a study also, a research study, and what it said was 85% of the new jobs come from new business. Now, new business comes usually from entrepreneurs. People who get an idea, go for their passion, and they do it. And you're meeting someone right now that is passionate about what he came up with, and his name is Ballew. I almost said Dale Ballew. That's his dad. He's running camera today. One of the things that he has, I want you to give us an overview of, first of all, to start out with, how did you come up with the idea? I think another one years ago was called Magic or something. A little bit.
It's kind of, but since I was growing up, there were a lot of these card games coming out, and these were ones where you'd have to go and buy lots of little cards each month to make your deck or whatever better than everyone else's. Well, when I was a kid, I played some of them, but I spent a lot of time on index cards making my own because, well, aside from that being cheaper, I had a lot of fun putting my own ideas onto the cards instead of whatever someone else was handing me. So I thought, wouldn't it be great if you had one set and made getting cards, instead of buying booster packs and getting the cards that way, what if you had getting the cards was part of the game? Yeah. So each time you play, you can get new cards. There are over 100 different unique cards in here, all with different art on them, and it's a very silly game, very tongue-in-cheek. But so each time you play, you make your own new deck, and next time you play, you make it something completely different, and it's all part of the game.
Do you play just yourself, or do you play with partners?
Oh, it's a game for this this basic. I want to eventually make one that allows more players. This is a 2 to 4 player game. And so you and 2 or 3 or 4 of your friends, or your kids' friends, or whoever you like, can sit down and get to playing. So.
Lee, can you play all alone? Is it anything like solitaire? I'd like to make something that's a one-player, but unfortunately, you got to get a group together. So at least one more.
Drag somebody in there and see if you can get them to.
So you were growing up, and you were thinking this would be unique to have, not to have to continue to buy those new packages, but have them. 100 of them already in the original.
And what it was is, when I was a kid, during summers and everything, I would spend hours with poster boards making board games, with index cards making card games. I didn't know I'd end up doing this, but it feels like everything fell into place in my life to get here. I had no idea that I would be able to do this as a professional product. All I knew was that I had these skills, and from my years as a kid putting these things together, it felt like it was all leading somewhere, and I didn't know it because I had just made this little game on an index card, and a fellow by the name of Sean Patrick Fannin, who he knows quite a bit about entrepreneurism, as he's written several books for several games, and he noticed it and said, this is something we can sell. And he's just a friend of mine, and he pulled me aside and said, you know, I don't tell this to people often, but this is something good. And it was with his support that I've come this far. And
what I like about it also is the fact that it's fun and clean and not scary.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those games are really, I don't think they're from the Lord.
And it's all about taking things that those games do that aren't necessarily the taking the dark and scary and making fun of them a little bit.
That's good.
To have
good.
Like I have a card that's pretty much a paramecium, like the little microbe holding a sword, and that's kind of making fun of the whole, they have the warriors and everything. So there's a lot of silliness in the game. That's for
good.
certain.
That's what people really like. Now, this is very expensive. I see this has 4 colors on this brochure, but also even inside. Now, I've written 8 books, and one of mine has color inside. And how did you get the money to do all of this?
Well, a lot of it was pretty simple. What's happening is this site called Drive Through Cards here is just started up, and they figured when you normally have a product, you need a big investment to make lots and lots of copies of that product. But they've done printing on demand for cards, so all of this will be printed the second you buy it and sent to your house. Unfortunately, these right here are not part of the deal yet. This whole book is available in a PDF you'll get when you buy the cards, but to save on money right now, we're offering all of this just on PDF because, like you said, they're very expensive to print. But
they could download it.
As soon as you buy them, it will send you a link, and you click on this link, and you get a PDF of this that you can print out. And we're hoping to someday have a deluxe set that will come with this. This mat also comes as a printable
Hold that mat
out.
up. Go ahead and
Yes,
get that.
this is the playing field for the game.
Why don't you give us an overview of how Clash works? You get you and your buddy together, and just go ahead and hold that up.
Oh, certainly.
And now, tell me a little bit about the way the game plays.
You'll each get a starter deck of 10 cards, and they have what's called energy, which is like your money in the game. And out here will be put different cards you can buy. And as you play, you'll...
Kind of like Monopoly when you buy Park Place.
Yes, very much so.
That kind of buy. You don't actually pay.
You don't pay real money. You're paying this energy as kind of a currency within the game.
Sure.
To get these different cards, and it's a idea that people call deck building, where you take these cards and you put them in a discard pile, and it'll flip around and become your new deck in your next turn. So anything you buy will eventually come around and back into your deck. So you'll have a new deck of cards that you've bought, and you feel like you're slowly building up a deck, and you play against your friends and try to beat all their cards so that you'll be the last one in the game and you'll win. So.
Okay, because I love to play Monopoly, and I was really good. I had 4 brothers, and I could beat those guys.
Oh, I was...
Monopoly.
I thought I was good, but then, meet some cousins of mine who are just...
colossal.
Yeah, that are very good at the game, and I couldn't match up to them. And some of those Monopoly games would go to like almost midnight with the...
Oh, I know. It does for a long time. So either you go broke or get all of the...
But it's a lot of fun if you got the time for it.
And, and this one doesn't take quite that long.
No, it's usually over quite fast. A 2-player game can last anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. The more players you add more time to that for each person to take their turn. But So it's a little bit of a quicker game. I have to forewarn that some sessions can run a little bit longer, but not quite Monopoly length. So.
Okay, that's good, that's good. Now, we've actually done where we'd be playing Monopoly and we'd leave it there and go, you know, that like everything was and however much money we had and houses and hotels and all that. And then we would come back maybe a couple of days and start playing right where we were.
Oh, yes, I've done that before too.
And this one, though, is over so quickly according to how many people you have that you can probably just
You can probably finish it in a single sitting.
Go get something to drink or eat, and then back to the game, start another deck of cards. Okay, tell me how you got the idea, and he saw this, Sean Patrick
Fan, that's
Fannin,
right.
He saw what you were doing. Who was he?
He's a writer. He's been on the, he's done a lot of these different role-playing games and books, mostly books about how to play different games with your friends. And he looked at what I had done and he encouraged me to go forward with it. And so I started taking my simple index cards, drawing the pictures for them, putting them on real cards, and eventually Drive-Through Cards, which was just starting up, was very interested to hear about what I was doing, and I got in touch with them. They looked at the cards. I had to make some corrections to make them a bit more professional and exactly the right dimensions of what they needed for their cards they were printing. And working through them, I eventually got to be able to publish my game. It was fantastic.
And the game is very reasonable. It's like $30.
That's right, that's right.
That's a good thing, because people don't want to spend a fortune until they know maybe how to play it.
Yeah.
Some of their friends involved also. Now, I mentioned to you that the Bible talks about witty inventions, and apparently you're a Christian too.
That's correct.
And you live here, graduated as Sparkman.
That's right.
You live here in Huntsville, which this might be watched in, tell me where some of your relatives are, Dallas?
I've got Atlanta, let's see, I've got pretty much all over the place. Got some in Texas, and where are, I'm having a...
well, that's okay,
yeah,
but in other words, they're like mine, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And they will want to see you, tell them about the game, and maybe at least all your cousins could order one.
Oh, we've sent out some to them too. I'm hoping if you guys are watching, I hope you're enjoying it, and let me know what you think, because just getting little feedback means all the world to me, good or bad. If there are things they think need to be better next time, I want to make as many games as I can and work as hard as I can, because if I can do this for the rest of my life, I'd be very happy doing that.
Well, there was a young man about your age, and I guess you're in your 20s? Or
I'm 30.
30?
Yes.
Just topped the hill there to 30.
Yeah.
Well, he had a video game that you could play on the computer, and it was so received so well that just recently I read that he now wants to pay the $30 million to go to the moon. And so,
wow.
So maybe yours will be.
I can only hope and pray that I could be blessed with such fortune.
Yes, so it could very well be that you, as an entrepreneur, could encourage other people. I mean, you were sitting there, you said you were growing up and you were making the cards like your cards. How did that go? And did you have to get a big loan from your dad to get all of this started?
Oh no! In fact, that was part of the amazing thing. Dad really helped me out with some software to make the cards look, so I could render them in a way that looked better when it comes to, you know, the layout and everything. But a lot of this was just stuff that I've been learning since I was a kid. I've never been an expert artist, but I've always been doodling. I've always been drawing with the markers, and everything seemed to kind of come together. About 10 years ago, I got into more cartoony drawings, and that's what allowed me to do many of the drawings in this game. And none of it was really expensive. None of the, like I said, since they print these on demand, they weren't asking for a big price up front. They just needed a good idea. So It's all about coming up with that good idea that people will enjoy.
It's called a
Colossal Clash, that's right.
Where does that come from?
Sean, my friend Sean made it up. Since all of you are trying to be the last one standing, you're clashing against each other with these cards you've collected. So it's kind of, everything about it is kind of meant to spoof or make fun of many of the card games that are out today, like I believe there's the Pokemon and the Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's a whole slew of new ones that I'm not as familiar with, but they've been coming out for many years. So we wanted something that caught that kind of kids, you know, laying down cards and competing for something and that kind of spirit. And that's when he came up with the name. So.
So is he in business with you?
Yes, in fact, while I'm making most of the money from this, he is running the production company behind this, and he has been a tremendous support as a friend.
Is he a local person?
Oh yes, he lives out in Harvest actually.
Okay, my son lives there, and so why don't you give us an idea of how you play the game?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, why not?
Well, certainly.
Okay. Now, you have the copyright. Or
yes,
you,
I have the copyright.
Sean Patrick Fannin does not own.
No, he is providing support as the publisher, but you can self-publish these sort of things. I only did that because he's a great friend of mine and he's helping me so much that I thought that it would be an honor to have him as my publisher. But in this day and age, as an entrepreneur, it does not take a whole lot to publish your own thing and to get a copyright on it. So,
did you have to send the idea or an actual game to get it copyrighted?
The actual game, but really once you've come up with the game, it is not difficult.
Meaning, but you still send it to the Copyright Office in Washington, D.C.
And I don't know if you have to in this day and age. I think with an intellectual property, that just having the property and having a publishing company or your own self-publishing, I'm not real clear on how that works though. So.
I know that
but you know what
there was a time 15 so years ago, a decade ago, you had to actually send the product in to Washington.
I didn't
in fact, 2 copies. Like for books, like I had to. But now you don't necessarily have to do that. You can send the name and maybe 3 chapters, and you have a way that you can get a copyright. And legally, now they are saying that if you put the copyright sign on your drawings and your books, that will actually stand up in court.
I think it will. I think you're absolutely correct on that.
And so that gives people a way that without their first having to pay money to get the copyright, they can actually just put the C with, and I've learned that if you put a parentheses and a C and another parentheses, it will come up with the
Yes, I think so.
Copyright sign. Okay, so I hope your dad can get a close-up of kind of what you're doing.
Let's see. We would have. This would take a little bit to set up fully, so I'm just going to put a card down.
Sure.
So
let's get. Actually, need to get that opened up so your dad can make a.
Yeah, let's do that here.
And there, just put some.
I'm going to put this, if you don't mind.
No, if you think it might get wet with that, we don't want you to get your game wet.
Different cards would be laid out here. You would play.
Do they have to? How do you know which card to play next? You got the dice. You roll the dice.
You'll roll to see who goes first. Whoever gets the high number goes first.
Kind of like again in Monopoly.
Yep. I can help you with that if you like. And once I don't think we'll need to roll.
No.
Once you roll, you've got different kinds of energy here. And
energy is the equivalent of money.
Yes.
And of course, it's like the Monopoly that you don't really have, not real money.
Yeah, not real money.
Monopoly type money.
And each different kind of energy is either green, red, or blue. And each card has a little buy symbol on it that has green, red, or blue. So if you have the right colors from your hand, you play it out and you get the card. And you put all those in your discard pile, and once your hand runs out, you shuffle up your discard pile. It becomes your new hand, so all your new cards will be in your deck. And that way, the next time you play, you can play them out and play them against your friends, and they'll have different effects.
Well, before we started, we had a prayer. Did you pray about doing this, or have people?
Oh, certainly. In fact, I believe that without God's help, I wouldn't have been able to do this, because everything in my life seemed to have led to this point. That, like I said, with the drawing, with the design, with the card games, it's all been building. And I don't think without just the right path, I would have gotten here. So I feel so blessed and very, very, very happy to have gotten where I am with this.
Now, if people want to order it and they get it, and do you think they can pretty much figure it out? Do they order it only on the internet?
For right now, it's only on the internet. We're hoping to branch out, but first we've got to see how successful we can get on the internet.
Okay.
It'll have a PDF with all the instructions in an easy to read format.
Exactly what, I'll write that down. What is the, what do you order? What do you put in the internet?
What you do is go to www.drivethroughcards.com.
Okay, all right.
And if you don't see it, you can just type Colossal Clash into their search bar.
Oh,
but
okay.
it's on several points on the main site. It has, if you scroll down, there should be a symbol that looks just like this that will have, you click on that and you'll be able to purchase it. So it's very easy.
Okay, and now you're married. Do you have any
Yes.
little ones?
Oh, not yet. That's going to be sometime in the future. We're hoping to, if this takes off, it'll give us the financial support that would allow that little bit.
What do you do in your real life? Do you
I work out on the arsenal. I'm a courier. I deliver packages, so pretty mundane stuff for my day-to-day.
I love when UPS or FedEx or anybody bringing packages.
Yep.
They're the funnest thing.
It just makes that day just a little bit more exciting.
It does. That's very important. I was thinking about, wrote an article about, in fact, included your grandfather in it.
Oh, wow.
For Auburn University, because there's, like, Auburn is started in 1857 or 75, sometimes I transpose numbers, but they have 25,000 students this year, and since World War II have had a lot of students. So let's say since 1857 that it was 1 million students. Well, of those million, 100 of those people are really famous, like the one that started Habitat for Humanity,
oh my, yes.
Cracker Barrel, several astronauts, Miss America, generals, just so many people that came from there. But that means, say 100 were famous, like those people. Well, and Tebow, I think he was there, I'm not sure, I have it written down, but it wasn't just football, they had people that were from all kinds of sports and life. And but it took that other 999,000 people to make it happen. It's not just the ones that come up with the inventions like you did, it's also all the people that buy it. It takes all of us. Just like you're delivering packages at this moment, hoping that this will take off, and I'm sure it will, because people are really wanting to have more fun things they can do, where they don't have to pay big bucks to go to a movie or to go to NASCAR races. Those 2 tickets
that adds up, yeah.
$600 for a couple of tickets to go to NASCAR. Talladega that's coming up soon. And I think the Lord has sent you along just at this time so that you can help a lot of people have much fun at a very low investment.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, I think they will. So that is a good thing. And also encouraging other people. You had your dad and also Sean Patrick Bannon to encourage you. How could you encourage another person?
Well, what I say is, if there's something you love doing, you should go out and do it and pursue it. And even if at the beginning you don't think that what you've got is the best there can be, my dad always told me, you can do anything you want as long as you practice and you keep at it. And those words have gotten me where I am today. So
have a passion.
Have a passion and show people that what you're doing means a lot to you. And whatever your expression is, if it's cards, if it's music, whatever you want to do, put that passion into that thing and hope it shines through. And if it does, then you should be just fine.
Well, Lee, I know that a lot of people that come up with ideas never pursue them because they think, oh, it'd take a lot of money, and they maybe don't know how to look for drive-through cards like you did. How did you think of looking that up?
That was once again Sean's. He knew someone who was working with this, and at the time it was just an idea. It hadn't really been tested or anything yet. So this is a brand new site and a brand new way of doing business when it comes to card games. So it was just, I happened to be at the right place at the right time. Perhaps it was the Lord's blessing that allowed me to get this far.
I love where he says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not upon your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, like you're doing today, and He will direct your path. Direct you to Sean Patrick Fannin, direct you to this drive-through card location on the internet, and maybe someone that's watching, it could direct them to order your game so that you will have it when you really maybe would like to go to NASCAR in Talladega, but you don't have the $600 for a couple of weeks to go. So this is something that's reasonable, and you can download a lot of it, and then eventually you'll have the...
Yeah, I'm hoping to eventually have where this nice booklet and everything can be delivered to you as well. Right now it's just the cards, and you can print off all this other thing that you'll get electronically. But more than that, if this can lead just to other people who say, I want to write a book, I want to do this or that, because so many people have great ideas, and maybe they're afraid and maybe they're not willing, but if they open their hearts a little bit and ask for the Lord's guidance, I'm sure they'll find within them the strength to make that book, to make that game, to get it out there and to get people excited.
Well, we want to put your website on, but you're going through drive-through.
That's right. That's right.
You don't have your own right now.
Not a professional one. Not yet. Right now, it's just.
What about a phone number? Is there a phone number you'd like to give out?
Not currently. I don't have a. We're not big enough to have a ordering service through phones yet. But one day, God willing.
Taking right now.
Yes, just head to drive-throughcards.com.
Yeah, because I've got a drbonnie.tv.
Yes, yeah, it's a .com. It's a .com, but there's so many dots.
Well, we're hoping that you will order and that you will see the advantage of Lee Ballew's passion for Colossal Clash. I like that, Colossal Clash, a card game and fun game. And the Lord has put something in your heart, and let's go for it. Let's do things that we know are part of our life. And I want to thank Dale Ballew and sweet Sandra, his wife, and your wife's name is?
Susan.
Susan Ballew, and all of you for watching.
Thank you very much.
I'm Bonnie Liphart, along with Lee Ballew, and bless your heart.